So hello and welcome to the channel and another Assetto Corsa Competizione video. Now in today's video, which might end up being slightly controversial, I thought I would have a look at the lap times from the first ever special events on PC and just how much of a difference there is in the lap times being set. Now these were the final tallies and I'm not sure how long a season or a special event season actually lasts, but as you can see here, there's about a second off. And almost every driver's in the 55, 56s, totally different on console. Again here, I'm managing to top the leaderboard at Spa, but still 2.5 seconds difference from the PC leaderboards. There is no way I'm getting anywhere near that sort of lap time, being able to hit a 2:18 really. Looking again at Barcelona, and there's a 2 seconds difference at the top of the leaderboard, and all the way through the top of the leaderboard really, no one getting anywhere near that sort of lap time. And again, moving to Brands Hatch, I mean this one's even worse. It's almost 3 seconds away from setting a fastest lap. And I don't consider these drivers slow drivers. If they're in the top 10, they're there for a reason. And I just think even the slowest time on that leaderboard still managing to set 20 laps there. So there's definitely something wrong between the amount of grip levels available on console as there are on PC, right at the launch as well. So just looking at the little calculator I've got here to be able to judge what sort of lap times are being set, I'll share this calculator as well in the description. But when I hit 25.52, I was averaging around a 2-minute 21.1 lap. Now some of those laps were 220s, a number of 221s, nothing in the 222s I don't think. But to be able to hit the sort of lap time, or combined lap times over 11 laps of 25 minutes and 24 seconds, you're going to need to be hitting a 2:18 600 on average. So some of those laps are going to be in the 2:17s and some into the 2:19s, but it's just not possible on console to set that kind of pace. Now I've spent the last couple of days trying to set this car up at Spa, and there's no way I can set this up using a low downforce setup, and just being consistent through a Rouge is almost pure luck really, using a low downforce setup. So let's get into this testing and figure out what this whole video is about. Now I'm going to try and have a little run here doing a practice session, a single practice session in the same car with the optimum grip levels, just to see if we can actually hit a 2:19 lap. Now, just because I'm going to use exactly the same setup that I've used during my qualifying or during my special events, so that I can see really where a difference in grip is. You don't need to really alter anything with the setup. The only adjustments that I can imagine needing to be made are for the tyre pressures, because the track's going to be far hotter than we were running in the overcast section. So this is going to be a little bit of a learning curve as we start to try and get a better lap and try and get an idea as to where the tyres are. Obviously you can see there looking at the screen that my personal best is a 22:20. I had a little go on this the other day, but I'm using a slightly different setup. But even still, to be able to hit a 2:18 during the PC special events, that is an average lap of 2:18. So I would imagine there'd be some 2:17s in there early on, and as the tyres started to wear, you'd start to head into the 2:18s. So in theory, we should be hitting a 2:18 lap in at least optimum weather. So let's have a little look and see if we are capable of hitting a 2:18 lap. Put on my trusty gloves, and I'm currently sporting my Club Sport wheel because this one here seems to have an issue changing gears now, every time I'm changing up, I'm getting sort of 2 shifts up. So I'm going from like first to third, might go into fourth and then changing to 5th gear. It's changing from 4th to 6th, and then I'm having to change back down again. Now this isn't an issue when I'm driving on Project Cars 2. It's been perfectly fine all morning, but yeah, just coming back to the game, this was something new. So I've gone back to my Club Sport wheel. I do prefer using the GT3 wheels. It's a much lighter wheel, and it gives, as much as the game is missing a lot of force feedback at the moment, the lighter wheel allows me to run a better force feedback setting for this game. So let's go into this setup menu, and I'm just going to load up the setup that I was using to set my there we go, 252.50. And as you can see, there are 6 saved setups. Now, I believe that's as many as you can save for each car at one specific circuit. I'm not sure why you would need to save more settings than that really, but I've started just naming them by the lap time that I was able to set. Now, as you can see there down in the description, I've put more rear grip needed. Now that's because partway through the session that I did, like I say, I was managing to hit 220s, 224, 226, 228 maybe in the first 3 laps. But suddenly it just really does drop off. The pace really does start to drop off. It starts to lose a lot more rear grip through a lot of the corners, and it starts to feel a little bit temperamental. The way the setup is, as soon as the tyres sort of start to lose that new edge. But this is something that is expected really, but I didn't expect it to drop off so quickly, and with such a detrimental effect really to the way the car handles. So yeah, we'll load that setup. Let's just go back. We want to load it. So there we go. And I'll just look over the setup. Obviously you can see the tyre pressures. I'm going to drop these 1 psi at the front, and what 1 psi all round really, because I think that's going to be the sort of difference that we're going to be looking at with regards to tyre pressures and the different changing conditions from a cloudy setup to a clear day setup. But as you can see, I'm running quite a bit of toe on the front. This is to try and get the car just to have more oversteer on corner entry really, because it lacks so much. It understeers quite a lot, the Porsche does, with the setup that I'm using. And I'm just trying to get more oversteer really, or more front end grip. So obviously it's always that balancing act. You're trying to get oversteer and understeer. That's the balance all the time, grip or no grip, downforce or no downforce. But generally it comes down to how the car rotates. And it does really lack, especially through acceleration. It seems to push into the corner rather than sort of accelerating round. You get this sort of pushing effect, which generally it's just a lot of oversteer on corner exit. I would like the car to rotate more, but I just don't seem to be able to gather any more mechanical grip. So running quite high cambers on the front, left the casters where they are. The rear cambers, as you can see there, I'm running no toe at all on the rear tyres. Obviously if we start adding some more positive toe, it will straighten the car out a little bit. So going towards a more negative toe, we'll get a little bit more oversteer really in how the car's set up. As you can see, there's a different amount of camber at the rear as well. And when you're looking, I'll run a lap and then we'll come back and have a look at the tyre readings. But you'll notice the difference between the outer edge of the tyre, the middle of the tyre, and the inner tyre. And you're sort of wanting to be looking at around 6 degrees difference in temperature at the rear, and about between 9 and 6 at the front. Obviously the tyre pressures you're going to want, they're just going to be very dependent on what the weather is. Another thing that I've picked up is the ABS system seems to work a tiny bit different than most. And most cars will run using 4 on the ABS, but I think 5 runs better with the Porsche, and running 2 on the traction control. I have used it on 1, and I would use it on 1 probably for the first couple of laps, and then when the tyres start to give way a little bit, I've been pushing towards using 2. So just for this session we'll use 2 throughout the entire session. Obviously we're going to be running the brakes at number 1, and the brakes really, if you're running number 1, is between about an hour's session really. Anything over an hour's length of driving, an hour, 90 minutes, an hour and 20, something like that, 3 hours, you're going to be wanting to run brake pads 2. So for this little session we're going to run brake pads 1. As you can see, mechanical grip wise, I've got a slightly lower front wheel rate as opposed to the rear wheel rate. That's quite a tongue twister. But anyway, because we're trying to get the car to balance better and have more front end grip towards rear front end grip, if I just change that there, you can see what a difference it makes. And it does run quite well with the wheel rates set as they are, and it almost handles Eau Rouge a little bit better because the springs are stiffer, but you lose that front end traction through the corners. It just handles that tiny bit better, I think, with it down there. And I did adjust the rear, I can't actually see because of my wheel here, I did adjust the rear anti-roll bar and add another one, but it just ended up, it causes too much of a problem with rotation. So I just brought that back down to 3, and the preload there at 90. It's alright at 90, I think, especially with the amount of traction control we're running. Moving to the dampers, the only one I did adjust was the front bump. In fact it was the rebound, because initially it's set like this in the aggressive setup, and I don't think the rebound should be less than the bump in any scenario really, but I'll certainly have a look at setting up dampers at some point, running with a good page I found on YouTube regarding setting up dampers, and it would be a case of going all the way back to fully soft and just progressing with each one, increase the bump and then eventually increasing the rebound. But with the way the force feedback is at the moment, I just don't think I would be able to feel what the car's doing through the force feedback enough to be able to actually set the dampers up properly to get the car running better. Now, as I've changed this a lot, the rear wing, I spent quite a bit of time going down the long back straights just to have a look at the rear wing and what difference it would make running it at around 10. And it doesn't make a great deal of difference. The car moves around a heck of a lot more throughout the lap, and it's far unstable throughout the lap running it at 10. It just doesn't seem to have any rear grip at all, and it's very hard to be consistent. Whereas if you bring it all the way up to 17, I'm losing about 2 miles an hour on the back straight, which I don't think is a great deal with the amount of grip it provides for the rest of the lap. It just seemed to be far more consistent with more rear wing. Even the front end seemed to grip better with more rear wing. So initially I was running like 10 and I think 72 millimeters. But yeah, this runs far better as it is. So let's take it out on the track and see what I'm capable of doing with this one. So I'm expecting a heck of a lot more grip running on Optimum. And I think I'm going to be surprised, or I should be surprised. So already we've got nice warm brakes for some reason. Obviously the brakes might need adjusting as well, because it's such a nice day. So already got loads more grip. Feels like loads more grip. Still don't think I would make it through there without a little lift. Very temperamental through there. And you can see the front tyre pressure is getting too hot already, really. Loads of marbles on the outside. I mean, look how much sliding I'm getting. And that's with full rear downforce. So still a 220.4. Really pushing through the braking as well. It didn't register that lap, did it? That's why. Because I ran wide. And again, run wide. Tyre pressures are holding out though, although they seem to be very hot at the rear. .7. See, I really think we should be able to go through a rouge flat out. Just not a chance. Especially in these optimal conditions, it should be a no-brainer. Definitely can't get through there. Try to hold on to third through there. This isn't a 2:19 lap. I don't know what you'd have to do. Ruined it there. 20.1, ruined it on that final sector. So let's return to the garage. I think just going to open up these brake ducts just because of the difference in temperature, just to see if they run a little bit better. I'm going to bring that down a touch as well. I'm just going to try the traction control on one. As soon as we've got a lap to aim for now. Tiny bit of running through that. Surprised I didn't get a track penalty for that. Just pushing too hard. you can see just how hard I'm having to push, and I'm still only hitting a 220. You can't sustain this level of pace. So to be able to hit a 218.6, it's just not possible. Not on console, not on Xbox. That's how much I'm pushing. Let's make a setup change. Definitely don't want to get. You see the difference there. Look, as we look at the temperatures on the outer, middle, and the inner of the tyre. Just looking on the left-hand side, you can see it's 87, 89, and 92. That's about right. You want to be looking on the front between about 9 and 6 difference, and at the rear, obviously we've got 104 on that side and 107 on the inside of the tyre. About 4 difference on the back of the other one as well, but we're just losing that rear end. I'll show you the difference if we add that front. I could be wrong in these better conditions, but I do think it ran better with a softer front end. Obviously still running traction control. 2. See the front end grip. It feels like we've just lost front end grip. Terrible cut. See, it just doesn't seem to be as responsive, the front end, getting it turned in, getting it to grip. 20.4. And the thing that's annoying for me is that I can set exactly the same lap times in cloudy conditions. There's no difference between optimal track conditions and cloudy, what's the point in having it? All you're doing is changing the temperature of the tyres. Yeah, I just haven't got the front end grip. So you can see there, it's not made any benefit whatsoever to the setup. So let's return back to the garage and just adjust that front end again. It just removes too much mechanical grip. Let's have a look at adding, just lowering that by, let's say 1 click. Just tiny changes. But as you can see, we're still in the 220s. It's optimal conditions. And why aren't we setting faster lap times? Return back to the garage, set up. Let's just load that setup and just go back out with it. I know I've spent so long on this setup. That's one thing that we need to do. Change those tyre pressures. Just have them running a tiny bit softer. Just because of the track temperature. So yeah, the main focus of the whole video is why is it so slow? Why is it so slow on console, on Xbox? It's almost impossible to get a 219. Even under optimum conditions. That was flat out. got to be close. Remember, just a tiny lift through there. Hey, first 19. Trying it flat out for a rouge again. Oh, chap. But yeah, nice to see a 219. Let's try flat out again for a rouge. It should be capable of doing it in optimum conditions. But it's still miles off the pace of PC. Flat out again. I don't think I could be consistent. Very hard to be consistent, especially not to set an average of 218.6. I don't particularly consider myself to be crap at sport. Again, black and validated. Just impossible to be consistent through there. Just so inconsistent. Better exit. That's the best line I've ever had through there. 219/8. I just can't think that 0.6 of a second should be the difference between optimum and cloudy conditions. So 219.8, that's going to be where it's at. Let's quit out of that. Try and make this video as I don't think I'm going to make it under an hour, but at least we'll get an idea. So changing the conditions, and we're going to go for cloudy conditions. Hang on, what was it? Cloudy conditions. What am I doing? And green circuit. Yeah, green circuit. Let's go. And let's just see how much difference it is. I'll try and carry as much speed as I can through Eau Rouge as well. See if I can actually take that flat out. I don't think there's much difference in conditions. So I go to the setup and we'll load that previous setup. And the only thing that's different is the tyre pressures, but that's purely down to conditions. So it will make a difference. Let's go at this then now, or else it's going to be a heck of a long video. I thought I'd keep all these changes in so that you can see the difference that they're making. Still a cut through that. That's ridiculous. It seems to be different on practice laps than it does for hot lapping. A number of times it's missing my gear chain as well. Better tyre pressure, so I'd rather do it a little cooler than too hot. downshift just didn't seem to come into effect at all there. Better tyre pressures though. 273, 272. Happy with that. So there you go, 220, 220.3 in green track conditions, and then a 219.8 in optimum conditions. They're just miles away from each other. The amount of grip in either scenario is absolutely nowhere near what you get on PC. I mean, I'm not even on PC, but you can see that with the lap times. You cannot get anywhere near the lap times that are on PC at the minute. Somewhere along the line, the track conditions, the track amount of grip, the difference between PC and console is about 2 seconds a lap, I think. Yeah, so that's it for the video. It was all to do with why is console so slow compared to PC. And you start looking at the lap times people are setting on YouTube and stuff in different cars, obviously, that have been set using a PC, and you're thinking 216.7 in this car in optimum conditions. Not a chance. Not a chance on console. You'd be lucky to, I think you'd be lucky to hit a 218 consistently lap after lap. No way. So yeah, that's my issue at the moment with the game. It's miles away from the PC level of grip. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you find it useful. Leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button. You know all the stuff you need to do. Thumbs up, I'd love it. But yeah, thanks for watching. Ciao for now.